And my mother, Louise Wise Carver, is from the small community of Three Springs.
Okay.
And Three Springs is only about 3 miles from Whitesburg, where the railroad track was located, and a lot of marble was hauled from Whitesburg to other places. And a man by the name of Netherland, I've forgotten his first name now. Anyway, Mr. Netherland is the one with the mule team that hauled the marble. And there was a huge chunk of marble at Whitesburg near the railroad track that was too large to get on the train. And so that's where it still is today, is along the railroad track. And Mr. Netherland had several mules that died in a fire in his barn, and he stopped hauling the marble after his mules died in that fire. And he also deeded land to the Three Springs Baptist Church, and that's where the church is built, is on that land.
And is that in Hawkins County?
No, Hamlet.
Okay. What road is that on?
It's in Whitesburg on Needmore Road is where Three Springs Baptist Church is. And the Whitesburg near the railroad track is about 3 miles away.
And what was your family's connection?
My mom is from Three Springs, and she attended the Three Springs Baptist Church as a child. This is the picture of the mule team. We think this is probably one of the carts that was used to haul the marble. And then this is the census that shows the Netherland family, and this is my mama's family, my mother's grandmother, and her family. And so they were neighbors over in the Three Springs area, and the name is Fred Netherland, and he is the one who hauled the marble. The thing is to take what you know and hear what someone else knows and then put things together.
Okay, now here's a tool that I didn't bring with me. It's called a splitter. And it's made to do that.
I'm Susan Knowles. I work at the Center for Historic Preservation at MTSU, and we're in Rogersville at the Price Community Center for Marble History Day in Hawkins County.
Okay, and what are you hoping to accomplish today?
Well, really, we want to make connections with people and throw out a bunch of ideas and names and dates and places and get them to tell us how they know what might have happened there, what information they might be able to give us to fill in this marble history, because the earliest Tennessee marble company was here in Rogersville, 1830s, and we learned today that Orville Rice, in partnership with S.D. Mitchell, and his descendant was here, Stockley Donaldson Mitchell, formed the marble company.
What will you do with this information now?
Well, we will mull it over, look at the photographs, look at the documents, piece it together with what we already know and have, and think about, again, the geology up here and how these creeks, because that's the way people described, my quarries on Caney Creek or Clouds Creek, and just continue to weave the tapestry.
Today I brought proof of the H.B. Stamps marble quarry, which was never called the H.B. Stamps Library. It was named the Stamps Star Marble Quarry, and he used the star as his trademark.
Oh, okay.
And on that one.
And where was that?
He was down at, that marble quarry was in Mooresburg.
Okay.
And his offices were in Whitesburg and Hampton County. I brought a list from the archives of all of that we have of the listed marble quarries in the county, the landowners, the leases, and that's one of the most fascinating things. The people that operated the quarries and had their names on them did not own the land or the marble. They leased it from the landowners. So, well, like me, I'm a direct descendant of the marble rice mill, on Coles Ridge over in the Caney Valley. But the families kept all of this in their family line. And the reason I think that I'm not sure, but the reason we have outsiders coming in, our people knew what they had, but they didn't have the finances to bring the big rigging and the saws and all the equipment, so they searched outside of the area to bring the equipment.
Just like coal companies.
Exactly. The marble quarries here were set up exactly like coal companies. They leased the land, they got so much a cubic square foot for it, plus they got royalties.
How many quarries were in Hawkins County?
I have a record of about 30. That's a lot of quarries here. And there's only 2 or 3 that gets, a lot of attention.
Had several advertising envelopes and letterheads and copies of some material I got from the State Library and Archives about correspondence about marble in Rogersville going to Washington.
Oh,
They may have already had.
to the Washington Monument?
This is a letter from S.D. Mitchell, Samuel Donaldson Mitchell, and it's addressed to Daniel Graham, who was the Secretary of State or the Secretary of the House or Senate, something. I had to look that up. But it's from Rogersville, 1850. The last mail that you addressed to Orville Rice, and the subject Hawkins County marble for the Washington Monument. And it goes on to talk about marble.
That's kind of like the holy grail of Hawkins County marble history, isn't it?
I found this at the State Library and Archives. They do something that's really good. They mark on here where they found it. That's in this file. So if these people want to go back and find the original document, all I've got to do is go ask for this access number. So,
We're looking at pictures of Galbraiths,
Okay.
Joseph and Teresa.
Is that the one that owned the quarry?
After Andrew, his father, died in 1860. They later sold it to the Doughertys. This picture I estimate to be 1897 or 1898. Pretty firm on those numbers.
Okay.
Well, we're particularly interested in finding who the people were who worked in the quarries. A lot of times it's easy to find the owners' names, but we want to know the workers here. This is hard, heavy work, but it's skilled labor too. And so, we know that a lot of the people who came here were Irish and Scots, that African Americans knew these skilled trades too. Some of them may have learned on the spot, some of them may have come here because the work was here. So we want to know.
Have you been able to get any IDs?
We've got some clues.
Some clues?
Yeah, we've got a little bit.